Hi, everybody. It's Susan Storm, and today I wanted to talk about why I love typology, what got me into Myers-Briggs typology. And I think some of you might relate to my story, and I think that my story can also help you to understand maybe a way you could use it that you haven't been, or even just find solidarity with somebody. I wanted to, as one of my 2021 resolutions, do more video because I tend to start doing videos and then I just get really self-conscious and I look at them. I like rewatch them and I think, oh my goodness, I did such a bad job, and then I give up. But this is a year that I really want to like tackle this video thing. So I hope you'll bear with me as I get used to the stage fright of doing videos, and we can all kind of connect with each other in this way. So yeah, today I want to talk about why I got into typology. I hope some of you will find this helpful in some way. I know it's just my story, but I think sometimes we really find encouragement through hearing other people's stories. So one of the things that I really love about typology is that for people who've grown up with labels about them, or who have even created their own labels about themselves, it gives you a better label. So for me, um, I was about 20 years old when I discovered Myers-Briggs. My dad was the one who introduced me to it. And at that point in my life, I was a single mom, and um, I had like depression, anxiety, and PTSD. And my whole life, I just really struggled with finding my place in the world. Like, I didn't have a lot of friends, um, never really felt particularly understood by people. And so I ended up becoming defined by those mental illness labels like PTSD or anxiety. I defined myself by those too. And I kind of felt like everything I did was a manifestation of those things, or people would look at me and go, she's doing this because of those things. And I think we do tend to do that with people. I think we tend to create very um, good, bad, black and white labels about people, like the way they are is right or the way they are is wrong. Or if we know that they have like a mental illness or something, we tend to, everything they do is colored by the fact that they have this mental illness, like they're doing this because of that. And I think because I was so fixated on trying to grapple with all of this mental illness, and also, be a good mom, and um, and just try to like get by in life, I hadn't gotten the chance to find any good positive labels for myself. And so when I took the Myers-Briggs type indicator, one of the things that I got out of that was an ability to see my strengths that I never had actually realized were strengths before, because they were so natural to me as a person. I remember reading the INFJ description that the type practitioner gave to me and thinking, wow, I feel scarily understood by what I'm reading here in this book. And it's saying that I'm okay the way I am. Like, actually, the things that I do are, they're gifts. They're not just like in the past. I'd always thought these are things that make me weird. Like, these are things that people don't understand about me, and that makes them wrong. It makes me strange. And being able to read about my type helped me to see things that I had been suppressing, or things that I hadn't realized I could use in a positive way before, that now I could use in a positive way. And it gave me a positive or even neutral label for myself outside of the whole PTSD, anxious, depressed person. And so it helped me to, it was like a glimmer of light in this dark place that I was in. And I think for a lot of people I've spoken to, that's what it does for them. Even if you're not dealing with mental illness, like, it gives you this framework that you can build off of, and it's a positive framework. You can look at yourself and go, okay, for me, I'm an INFJ. I have these, predictive abilities that I've always had my whole life, but I never really gave them as much weight as maybe I should have. And when I started giving them weight, my life started getting better. Once I started really understanding introverted intuition, my life started improving, because instead of just thinking I'm wrong, or, I'm PTSD, I'm depression, I'm anxiety, I'm work, I'm mom, I'm these very, in some ways, limiting labels. Mom is not a limiting label, but in some of these other labels are very limiting. INFJ was a label that I could grow with, that I could explore with, that I could use in a positive way. And it gave me more dimension than these negative labels that I just felt like I'd been stuck with my whole life. And like many of you, it was also, finding my type, it was also like feeling seen. Even though you're only being seen by a system, it felt like I was being seen for who I really was. And that was a really positive thing for me. And I've seen this happen with so many other people as a type practitioner. I've seen this happen with so many other people who, they find their type, they pick their best fit type, and it's like, finally they have this incredible experience of being understood, even if it's just by the Myers-Briggs system. They feel like the quirks or things that they may have disliked about themselves before, things they maybe tried to change, are now strengths that they can own, things that they can really use to improve the world. And we're always shaped by our experiences. So if you're an ENFP, for example, and you're watching this and you're raised by, I don't know, ISTJs, you probably felt like, okay, who I am is not right because I'm not like the people around me. And we all tend to do that. If you're an ISTJ who's been raised by ENFPs, you'd feel the same way. And so we all try to mask who we are to a certain extent so that we can survive in the world. That's just like a biological thing that we all do. We look around us to get an idea of like what's right, because it's survival instinct. Like, that's how you survive, is by finding a way to fit in. But when the world around you is different, when the world around you is composed of people who are very different from you, you can just put yourself in this wrong label, in and just try to change yourself to be like all the people around you, and you're thereby like tying your hands behind your back because you're not using the strengths that you were born with. And so I think typology gives us a way to untie our hands and actually use the strengths we were born with, and actually grow as people, instead of trying to, it's like if you were left-handed trying to write with your right hand. A lot of us are trying to do that with our type preferences. We're trying to change who we are so that we can be like the people around us, or be how the people who raised us want us to be, or maybe just expect us to be. Because without type, a lot of us think that everyone's kind of the same. And so and everyone has the same potential, and everyone has the same qualities, and everyone has the same gifts. So we tend to see people who are doing things differently than us as an aberration in some way. A lot of people think that way. And type gives us a way to realize that each of us are different, and each of us has these incredible skills and a completely different toolbox to work with when it comes to their type. And that's probably the thing that I love most about type, and one of the things that really made me passionate about it. Another thing that really made me passionate about it was that it improved my relationships. all of my relationships, but particularly my relationship with my father, because he's an ENTJ. And as an INFJ, like, there were certain things we really clicked on, but other things that, like, I just did not understand about him and he did not understand about me. And our relationship had always been full of misunderstandings. And when I read about his type, um, it was so eye-opening, because there were so many things about him that I always puzzled over, and reading about it made it was like, oh my goodness, this is exactly how my dad is wired. This is amazing. This is actually a psychological preference for how he is. And I didn't know this before. And I was making all these, like, judgments because I thought we are all the same. Why is he choosing to be this way? And he was doing the same thing about me. And so understanding my dad was a big step for me in, improving that relationship. And then I was able to see how type could really improve. Like, I was able to get a better understanding of my mom. And that actually, I got a much better understanding of her through learning about the Enneagram than I did through Myers-Briggs. Myers-Briggs, I felt like I kind of understood who she was even before I got into Myers-Briggs, but the Enneagram really took it to a whole other level with her. But with my dad, it was the Myers-Briggs that really opened my eyes to who he was as a person. And when we disagreed from that point on, or when there was a big difference from that point on in perspectives, I could have a lot more patience and empathy and understanding for who he was as a person, and vice versa. And I have and now I have a tremendous amount of respect for him, and I'm constantly learning from him, and I just admire what he does. And I don't think our relationship would be in as good of a place without knowing about Myers-Briggs. And I think that's one thing that everyone can get out of the system is improved relationships. We get into so many squabbles with people because we don't understand their type. And it gets so heated and so personal. And type helps us to step back and go, wait a minute, how much of this is a type related misunderstanding? And it's a huge percentage of misunderstandings that happen between people are type related. And if you understand the type dynamics that are involved, all of a sudden it takes all that heat and bitterness out of the equation. And at that point, you're dealing with just trying to work with each other and understand each other better so that you can get past the difference, so that you can get past the misunderstanding and grow and become closer. So those are, to me, the biggest reasons why I love typology. They're the biggest reasons why it's a powerful system to me. And this goes for Myers-Briggs and Enneagram, whichever system you prefer. The systems can help you to get rid of those negative labels you've been, like, plastering on yourself your whole life, and help you understand your strengths so that you can grow. And they can improve your relationships with other people in such a profound way. And I really hope that if you're watching this, that you can experience those benefits for yourself. I really hope that you can have improved relationships this year. And I really hope that you can also cut yourself some slack. Stop trying to be like everybody else. Stop trying to, like, change who you are to be like your sister or your brother or your friend or your boss or whatever it is, but actually try to figure out where do your natural strengths lie, and how could you really own those, because it'll be a lot easier than trying to be an ESTJ if you're an INFP. It's going to be a whole lot easier, and you're going to be having a whole lot more fun, because it's just way more fun to be who you are than to try to be somebody else. So those are the main reasons why I really got into type and I really love it, and why I'm still writing about it after I don't know how many years I've been into it, after 15 years. And I would love to hear your guys' stories about why you're into type. So definitely comment and let me know. And um, I want to do more of these videos. I want to try to get the hang of this, and also want to connect with you all more. So if you have any questions you'd like me to answer in a video in the future, please let me know. I would love to hear your ideas. I may take me a while to get to each one, but I'm sure you guys have a lot of really valuable ideas, and I would love to hear what they are. So thanks so much for being with me and watching this with me. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks.